You should only come to New York when you are already happy, is a line I remember from one of the Sex and the City episodes, meaning New York is the kind of place which won't make you happy just because you live there. In my opinion, the same works for Prague. If you ask me whether I like Prague, my answer will be, it's a shame to say you don't. Nobody ever says they don't like Prague. I've heard people saying they don't like Berlin, too dirty, complaining about Vienna, too snobbish, and even Paris, too expensive. But for whatever reason, Prague manages to remain censorship virgin. I don't believe Prague will ever lose its virginity. The common thing about Prague is that foreigners come here for a few months and then they stay for many years. You will hardly hear someone saying, "I'm fed up with Prague, I'm leaving, I want to try something new." If you consider coming to Prague for a while, be very careful because you might stay much longer. Prague is full of long-term expats claiming, "I don't like my country, that's why I moved here." Americans say they find here the freedom which they lack back in the US. Russians say it makes them feel safe when the economy is predictable. Romanians believe Czech bureaucracy is still better than Romanian corruption. In the end, everybody has their reason to stay in the Czech capital. That all sounds good, but this is actually where the sad chapter about Prague expat life begins. One day, you're waking up, you're somewhere in your mid-30s, still single, sharing an apartment with 2 other people, still working for customer service, and drinking Czech beer, by the way, a very tasty one, almost every day. No matter that you have spent almost a decade here, your Czech leaves much to be desired. This is truly a long-term Prague expat representative sample. Then the evening comes and admirable things start happening. You dress up, you go out, you meet other expats same as you are, you all drag yourself along the astonishingly beautiful Prague streets, and somehow you start feeling better and optimistic about your future again. You can almost hear as if the beauty of the city was whispering you blamingly, "How dare you think it's not worth living here?" And you feel nearly ashamed. The next morning, you are waking up with a hangover, you are rushing to your customer service office as you are late. This is more or less how each second or third day of your life looked like in the last decade that you had spent in Prague. Prague forgives you all your weaknesses, be it drinking too much or having a lame job for years. Unlike New York, it doesn't blame you when you don't achieve things, when you don't buy an expensive car or any car, or get married or have kids when it's time to. Prague is the most tolerant wife one could ever have. Like a woman with a soft character, Prague is very loyal to a man who is great and promising but not really successful. Prague accepts all your disadvantages and it will always offer you a beer at a decent price to help you forget about your big silly dreams. It's hard to explain it rationally, but there is just something in the Prague air that tells you that it's all fine and there is still plenty of time for everything you want to achieve, even if it's not true. And usually it's not true. But what if you really like the city and you want to drop your anchor here for a longer time? Then activity is a key word each expat must make a part of their everyday Prague mantra. From the day one you're here, start writing, singing, painting, working here and there, reading a lot, learning languages, setting up appointments with your banker, sending letters to your family abroad, and even updating your statuses on Facebook. If not, stagnation comes to you in Prague in a very innocent way, so you won't notice how years would start passing by. If you are not active, this city will devour you and your dreams in the nearest bar, and it will still remain beautiful and attractive for the next expat generation. You should fill yourself with energy and life because Prague won't do it for you. You should make efforts, you should think outside of the box, otherwise you will end up living a senseless and aimless life having a very low income. The most important thing you must keep in mind when you come to Prague for a longer stay is that in order to maintain your excitement about the city, you should better leave your tremendous career prospects behind. Prague is neither the city for ambitious white collars, nor for those who are going to make fast and big business deals. When it comes to the conventional 9-to-5 jobs, expats can find those in Prague only in big international companies, and their number is rather limited. When it comes to business, there is hardly anything else but things around tourism that might really work. The majority of Prague expats work as customer service advisors, sales reps, or English teachers, those who are native speakers. It's very hard to make a living in Prague, and those people are usually very diligent in their work. On the other side, Prague is a perfect city for short-term stays, let's say up to 3 years. Interns, guest workers, tourists, and couples coming here to get married are those getting the most out of the Czech capital. Prague is also a great city to live in when you have a significant other, or your own apartment, so you don't have to work very hard to pay the rent every month. Simply something that is your foundation. For whatever reason, in this city, you will desperately need a foundation to be able to enjoy your everyday life here. But if so, why don't so many expats do anything to change their lives? No doubt there is a certain mysticism about Prague. It makes you stay in the city, and more than that, somehow it makes you think there is no other city out there that you can live in. Sounds pretty crazy, but this is the way it is. Ask Praguers, either long-term expats or Czechs, and most of them will tell you exactly the same thing. The city is beautiful, and you find yourself nearly betraying this beauty when you are leaving for another one. Don't come to Prague when you look for big career steps or things which are extraordinary. You better go to New York or even Berlin. Come here when you look for life, for comfortable transport which always comes on time, health insurance which covers all basic things, the whole system that works. Never from the first time, but in the end, you will always get the paper you need. Free morals, clean streets, safety, and a pleasure to order a beer any time of the day without receiving judging looks. By the way, in Prague, beer is cheaper than water. Come here if you look for the now, not for the future for yourself.